In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you vintage style, what that means, what that looks like, and some of my favorite celebrities that remind me of vintage style and what makes their look and style feel vintage. So if you're not sure what your personal style is, this is a good series to watch. This is one of 9 videos sharing the 9 most common personal style types. There was definitely a time in my life, probably in my 20s, when I loved going to thrift stores and vintage stores and just finding really amazing pieces, one-off pieces that you couldn't get anywhere else. So even though now my style is more classic and edgy and minimal, and also a little bit feminine, romantic, I definitely feel a connection to a vintage style type. So somebody that is into vintage style, they love going to vintage shops, to thrift stores, and looking for pieces that are either from a different time period or they look like they were made in a different time period. So a lot of times what you'll see with vintage style, there's different colors, there's different fabric choices, there's different styles of the clothing, and it's also the way pieces are put together to create outfits. That's what will make something feel like a vintage look. So someone with this style type probably is going to be more interested in secondhand pieces, specialty pieces that are one of a kind that you can't really find anywhere else. It's almost a little bit like a treasure hunt, which for me, that's something I really loved about this style type when it kind of identified more of my style. So like I said in earlier videos in this style type series, it's likely that your personal style will change as you go through different periods in your life. And also, most of us are not just going to fit into one personal style. And if you're trying to find your style and see what works for you and love your wardrobe so that you feel great in what you wear, join me in a 3-weekend live virtual workshop series to love your style. Feel confident, love how you look, save money and time, and know your personal style. You can click on the link up above or down in the description box to learn more about that live virtual course with me to love your style. So when I think about a celebrity that has vintage style that really embodies this style type, I think of Alexa Chung. I think she's a master at styling pieces and putting looks together that have this vintage vibe. So here you'll see in this first look, she's wearing this faux blue jacket. And while faux fur is something that we've seen again and again, it's something that is modern. It's the color choice. It's this interesting blue color, and this is definitely feels more like a 60s or 70s vibe color. And then it's also the shape of the jacket. So you'll see this jacket, it's a little bit more boxy, it's a little bit longer. The collar even looks more from that time period than a modern day collar. But you'll also see here, she's wearing a pair of straight leg dark denim jeans, which again is a very modern jean, but it's the way she's put this whole outfit together. And then her choice of shoes. This isn't really a modern shoe. It's kind of like a loafer, but it's metallic. The style of this particular shoe looks like it could be from a different time period. Sometimes designers will make pieces that resemble some more of these vintage pieces. Her shoes might be something that are brand new that she bought today, or they could be something that she found in a vintage store or a specialty thrift store, and it could be from a different time period. But again, it's the way this whole look is put together. Now, we have seen a white button-down shirt in many of the different style types that I've shared in this series. And here, Alexa Chung is wearing a white button-down shirt. But if you notice the style of this shirt, it feels vintage. It feels from a different time period. If you look at the sleeves, the cuffs are fitted, but the actual sleeve is a bit more billowy. It's a thicker, like a poplin cotton. It's a thicker cotton. So it's not like a silk or a softer fabric like we might see in a classic style type or a romantic style type. And it has pleats in the front, which again is very reminiscent of a different time period, of a 60s or 70s shirt. That it doesn't really look like any of the other style types. It's not minimal because there are these details that make it specific to more of a vintage feel. And she's wearing the shirt out. We're in a preppy style type. We'll see if somebody's wearing a white cotton button-down shirt. There's not much else going on, but it is tucked all the way in, and sometimes it's worn with a very sleek leather belt. So here you see it's a very different feel or a very different take on a white cotton button-down shirt. And again, while her jeans in this look can be something very modern and styled in a way that can look very different than a vintage look, But the way she's wearing it, because she chose this particular white button-down shirt with the pleats and the cuffs and the billowy sleeves, and it's worn out, the way she styled it makes it feel and look more vintage. And here in this next look, she chose to wear a collared shirt underneath a sweater. Again, this is something that we've seen in the preppy style type. They'll tend to wear a button-up shirt underneath a sweater, but the difference here is the collar. Look how large the collar is. The size of this collar is more reminiscent of a different time period, of that 60s or 70s vibe of that vintage style. And also the color, it's this green color. It's not a modern day green that you see now. It's not an olive green that we'll tend to see a lot of. It's not an army green. It's kind of this, I don't even know what you call this green, but it feels, again, more from a different time period. And because she's wearing that pink sweater on top, that color combination, again, it feels more vintage. It feels more from a different period. And again, while her jeans are high-waisted, and that typically can be from a different period, high-waisted straight leg jeans are also super modern. But it's the way she styled this. So somebody wearing these exact jeans with a silk blouse and a very classic boot would fit more into a classic style type. But again, because she's choosing to wear these high-waisted jeans with a big collared button-down shirt under a sweater, and it's in these different colors, that's what gives it more of a vintage vibe. And then also her choice of shoes here. So while these boots, again, can definitely be modern, they may be something that she just got, they have a tiny bit, a very subtle detail that makes them feel more vintage. And that's there in this dark brown color that we don't see a ton of modern day. We'll see more of the tans or the nudes or the grays, but this is that dark, dark brown. And then also they have more of a point in the front, which again, you can definitely find this type of boot in this color today, but it's not as common. And it does feel more like a different time period. Again, especially because of how she styled the look together. And now in this next look, she's wearing this really beautiful feminine yellow dress that really, again, can work in a few of these different style types, but it's the way she's styling it. So she's wearing it with this really cool, it looks like a wool or some type of wool-like fabric jacket or coat in this navy color, but it has these butterfly appliques on it, which is not something you really see modern day. It's something that's more from the 60s and 70s. So she's decided to style this feminine yellow dress with this really cool coat over it. And then again, if you look at her shoe choice here, it's these really cool, kind of vintage inspired black boots. So again, they're more of a pointy toe, and also the heel is really interesting. These boots feel like there's something she found in a cool vintage store. So again, it's the way she styled this whole look that makes it feel more vintage. Now, someone with a boho style might wear the same yellow dress. It's flowy, it's fluid, but maybe they're going to style it with a white crochet cardigan, and they're going to wear it with a pair of gladiator sandals or some cool brown suede boots with a fringe bag. So again, it's these subtle details of how these pieces are styled that make them a different style type. Now in this next look, we're seeing her wear a camel colored or kind of a tan colored suede trench coat. And again, while this piece on its own can work for different style types, for a classic style type, maybe they're going to wear a black turtleneck underneath with a pair of black slim ankle pants and a black pump. Or for someone with edgy style, maybe they're going to wear a band tee underneath and a pair of faux leather leggings and cool black combat boots. So again, a lot of these pieces can work across different style types. It's the way we're putting the outfits together. So she chose to wear this with a dark denim skirt, which denim skirts are still modern, but because she styled her denim skirt with this cool tan trench coat, it gives more of that vintage feel. It feels more from a different time period. And then she wore a striped top, which again, a striped top can feel minimal, a striped top can be preppy, but it's the way she's incorporated these elements. You're not going to see someone with preppy style wear a striped top the same way that Alexa Chung is wearing this striped top here. And again, she styled it with a pair of pointy black boots. So this whole look together feels very vintage inspired. Now in this last look of Alexa Chung's, I wanted to show you a black leather moto jacket. We've seen this in the edgy style type. We've seen this across different style types. And there again, it's a little bit, It's about the details of each piece, but it's also about the way pieces are styled. So here, while this moto jacket looks like it can work for a minimal style, it looks like it can work for an edgy style, for a lot of different style types, but look how she styled it. She chose to wear it with a pair of overalls. And again, overalls, even though they are fun and can be a bit trendy and are a modern day style, they're also something that we'll see from a different time period. And then she wore this look with a pair of Chuck Taylors. Again, Chuck Taylors or Converse, they've been around forever. They're still really cool now, and I think they're great. But again, it's the way she styled it. You're not going to see somebody with an edgy style type wear a pair of Converse with a black moto jacket. You'll see them wear a pair of combat boots or something that feels a little bit more edgy. For someone with androgynous style, they might wear a pair of Converse, but they're probably not going to wear overalls. They're going to probably wear something more like a menswear inspired trouser, and maybe they're going to wear a button down shirt with the sleeves rolled up that has more of a masculine feel to it. It's a little bit more boxy. It's not a slim fit. So again, start to pay attention to the pieces in your closet. They will inform you a lot about what style you like. But also look at how you choose to style things, the way you choose to put things together. That's going to be a big indicator of what your personal style is. And I have talked about this before in the other style types I've made for this series, but I want to bring it up again here because I think it's important. So why knowing your style is helpful? One, when you're making new purchases to add to your wardrobe, if you know your style types, you can decide, does this piece feel like it fits into those style types? Sometimes we have ideas about this ideal style that we think we want, but it doesn't really translate into our wardrobe. So if we start to pay attention to the styles that we have in our wardrobe, the styles we end up wearing, then we can make better decisions when we're deciding whether or not to bring a new piece into our closet. Does it work with our current style? Or is this something that we think we like, but it doesn't really work with what we feel is authentic to ourselves? And also another great reason about knowing your style, it's because it becomes easier to get dressed. You can easily look for more inspiration on different style types. For example, if you find that one of the style types that feels most like you is minimal style, that's a great way to identify the outfits that you like to wear and the elements that you like to bring into your clothes. You're not going to like things that are fussy. You're not going to like things that, you need a belt and you need to tie this and then it has this ribbon. You're going to want things that are more streamlined and simple. So it's going to help you put outfits together easier. Now, another celebrity whose vintage inspired style I think is great is Emma Roberts. So here in this first look, you'll see she has just a simple white tank and a pair of modern straight leg denim jeans. And again, while those two pieces on their own can work for a variety of different style types, I want to highlight the pieces she's wearing with these two basics. So she chose to wear a leather jacket because it has these studs on it and it's in this tan color versus a black color, which might feel more edgy. The tan color with these studs give it more of a vintage feel. It really can be something that she found in a vintage store. Now, again, another thing I want to point out here is her choice of shoes. Shoes can really make an outfit feel completely different. So here, the shoes she's wearing, they're a mule. So they're a slide. It has kind of this block heel. And again, we're seeing that pointy toe, which feels more vintage from another time period. And they're animal print. Now, again, we see animal print shoes all the time. Modern day, we see them, but it's because they're a mule. That's not these elements together. They're a mule, they're pointy, and it's the animal print. That's what makes it feel more vintage. Where somebody with preppy style, they might wear a ballet flat that has an animal print. That's something very common you'll see, but they're not going to style it with a leather jacket with studs. So again, it's these pieces and then it's the way the outfits are brought together that make it feel like a vintage style type. And here in this next look, she's wearing a black button-up shirt, which can translate for a lot of the different style types. She has the sleeves rolled up, which we see in, again, a lot of the different types. And the collar isn't large, so it doesn't, on its own, it doesn't feel vintage. And then she has the high-waisted jeans. She has the shirt tucked in. But what makes this feel vintage is her choice of shoes. So she's pulling this whole outfit together with these really cool red suede or velvety type shoes. They're not exactly a pump, but they're a closed toe and they have a block heel. They have some kind of metal embellishment on the top, which again, these shoes feel like you could have found them in a vintage store. So just by her choice of shoes, it really makes this outfit feel like it came from a different time period. And in this next look, she's wearing this really feminine or romantic style blouse. And it looks like there's some ruffles on the sleeve. The colors are really soft. So this is something you would think would fit more into a feminine or romantic style type, especially if she chose to wear this with possibly a fluid skirt or a pair of skinny jeans and a more simple shoe. It would fit more into a feminine or romantic style. But it's the way she styled this. So her choice of jeans, she's wearing a high-waisted, wide leg jean, which feels like it's a jean style we saw a lot in the 70s. It is back in now. A lot of times styles do come back. And then she's also wearing a pair of shoes that are similar to the ones we saw Alexa Chung wear in one of her looks. So they're more of a metallic-y, loafer style, kind of interesting closed-toed shoe that again feels like it's from a different time period. And then her choice of bags here. So the shape of this bag is something that we've definitely seen from other time periods, but it's really the way she's styling these pieces together that make it feel vintage. And in this next look, this may be the same jacket we saw earlier that she was wearing in one of the other looks, but again, if you look at the jacket, it's that brown suede, which we do see brown suede in bohemian style type, but it's the studs. It's where the studs are. It's also there's studs on the pockets. The pockets are wider, they're boxier, which is more from a different time period. So this jacket, the style of it feels more vintage, feels more from the 70s. And then even though she's wearing a graphic tee underneath, this type of graphic tee, so that it's like a ringer tee, so the collar has a different color and then the graphic on it, it doesn't feel like a more modern graphic tee or a concert tee that you see today. It feels more like a vintage inspired tee. And again, the jeans are high-waisted, they're a dark denim wash, they're straight, slim leg, and while these jeans can definitely work modern day, she's decided to tuck the t-shirt all the way in so that you can see more of the high waist, which feels like it's more, the way she styled it feels more of this style type. And then again, her choice of shoes. Shoes really complete the look of an outfit. So again, her choice of shoes here, they're that kind of metallic. These look like they could be a ballet flat mixed with a loafer, but there's a strap there. And again, the style of this shoe feels like it was from a different time period. And in this last look that Emma Roberts is wearing, this cropped tee is very much feels like it's from the 70s. It says Wrangler on it, which is a brand you can find now. It's a pair of denim jeans. But these are jeans that were very popular in the 60s and 70s. So because it says Wrangler on it, and again, it's that ringer tee, it feels like she found this in a vintage shop. And again, the jeans here, even though they can fit into a modern day jean, she's styling them with this cropped Wrangler t-shirt. And again, the thing that completes this vibe, she's wearing this outfit with a pair of brogues, which these shoes can definitely be more of an androgynous style. They definitely feel more masculine. But again, it's the way she's pulling it all together. You're not going to see someone with androgynous style wearing a crop tee that looks like it was from the 70s. And another celebrity whose style feels very vintage inspired to me is Diane Kruger. Now, in this first look, she's wearing this very billowy top. And because of the colors and the pattern of this shirt, as well as the style of this shirt, this again feels like something she found in a vintage shop. It's not something that we would tend to see in a store today unless it was something that was designed based on something from a different time period. So this again feels like it's from the 70s, and she styled it with these high-waisted button-fly jeans that have a wider leg, which again, this jean style does feel more of a vintage style. And then she's wearing, again, her shoes are going to just complete this look and make it feel vintage because her shoes are a platform shoe. And also you'll see in her hand, she's holding a pair of sunglasses, but they are a white pair of sunglasses. And again, while these can definitely fit into a trendy style type, I feel like because of every other element in this look, this feels like she walked out of either the 70s or a vintage shop fully dressed. And in this next look, I think she's wearing those white sunglasses. And you can see also the shape of them, the rims of these white sunglasses, they look more vintage. Another detail of the dress that makes it feel vintage is the collar. So again, this collar isn't one that we'll tend to see in a modern day dress. She's wearing a pair of high top sneakers. These could be Converse. I'm not sure because we can't really see the logo, but if they're not Converse, they look something really similar. So again, wearing that dress with these high top sneakers and then completing the look with these white sunglasses just gives this whole outfit a vintage vibe. The Love Your Style live virtual course is coming up soon. Here's what Sierra had to say after taking this course with me.
So before, I would like open my closet and I'd kind of be like, nah, what am I gonna wear? um, it was just always like a hodgepodge of stuff, and like a lot of it, like I would like the thing, but I wouldn't know how to wear it. But now, like honestly, when I open up my closet, I'm like, ooh, what am I gonna wear today? Like I get a little bit more excited. I was kind of in a spot in life where it's like, I just want to like level up a little bit. I want to feel better about myself. Like, I was just kind of feeling the same way I felt about my closet, just kind of blah. And I kind of thought that could be a fun way for me to like instill a little bit more, I guess, confidence in myself.
Would you say the course did that for you?
Totally. Yeah.
Aw.
I didn't realize like how much of a difference it would make, but it's definitely worth the investment in yourself. And I feel like your clothes are just such a reflection of how you feel inside. It wasn't until I like dedicated the time by taking the course that it like all came together. It's just worth it.
If you want my live support and to join a group of like-minded women to love your style, make sure to click on the link down in the description box. We'd love to have you. Have a great week, and I'll see you soon.